Hello guys, welcome to this HTML project. I'm just going to be keeping the project as simple as possible. So we're going to be building a simple portfolio website, just a one-page portfolio website, and we're going to be using HTML only, no CSS, just simple HTML. Okay, so this is like a simple guide to what we want to build. We have colors here, we have a background color, we have a website type, possible tags we're going to be using, about section, services section, contact section, and the footer. Okay, so I'll just be keeping it as simple as possible. So for this, instead of div, I'll just be using tables. I'll be using tables because of the limited styling in HTML. There's no CSS involved in the project. So I'll just start by creating the header. Okay, so I'll use the table. Now table is divided into table rows and table data. Okay, so we can add that much data. So in the previous video we built I think a calendar. So the first data, or the first thing I want to do is add several attributes of the table that we can use to adjust for the width. I'll give it 100%. For the height, I would give it let's say 50 pixels. Okay, then I want the website to have like a black background, so I'll come to the body, basic color, black. So I'm going to be using hexadecimal. So this is equivalent of black in hexadecimal. You can actually type black here, but most browsers support the hexadecimal. Okay, so when we get into CSS, we'll fully understand hexadecimal, RGB, or RGB. Okay, so I'll just be giving a site title here. Okay, so I'll give it a site title of let's say CN. These are my initials. Okay, I can create another table data for the navigation menu. So let me just add a comment here. Okay, and I can create I can add a tags. I can say home. Just set times 3. Remember, these are the sections we want to create: home, about, services, and contact. So home, about, services, contact. Okay, so we're going to be styling this also, so I'll just open it on the live server. Okay, should open now. Okay, so this is what it looks like on the live server, and I'll try and give it some style. So now I mentioned we're not using CSS, so I'm going to be using a font called a tag called font that we can use for styling. and I'll put our initials here. You can use any size title of your choice. And I'll give it a color of white. Now the equivalent of white is in hexadecimal is this, about 6 Fs. Okay, and I'll give it a size of let's say, size, I'll give it a size of, let's say, 6. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, that's perfect. 6. I go back and I do the same thing for our menu or navigation menu. I put a font tag around it. I give it a color of white and a size of let's say 6. So I cut this. Okay, home. I'll just copy. I'll copy this and do it for the rest. So I'll simply do the same thing. Okay, so for the about, okay, I copy the about, I paste it. For the services, I cut the services, paste it. And I paste it. Okay, so I'll just in the anchor link here, I'll just add a ID of home. Okay, an ID of about, an ID of services, an ID of contact. Okay, so I do that and I go back and I check. Oh, this is way too big, so maybe just reduce the size by 1, so I can say 5. Let's see. Okay, 5 looks good. That's a 5. That's a 5. I can say 5. Okay, we get to the header and see that we're trying to align this maybe to the center, and obviously if we're building a standard project, we'll use a table, we'll use certain things, but this is just you know, HTML. So what I'll do, I'll try to add a table data, another table data, and I'll try to give this table data a width. It's an empty table data, but I'll give it a width so that there's going to be some space here. So I'll give it a width of, let's say, 40%, and I go back and I can see, okay, so 40 is even too much, so we can say 30. Okay, and we'll go back. This is perfect. So now another thing I want to do, we're going to keep spaces here. So if we're using CSS, we can use flexbox, we can use flex grid, but this is just HTML. So now we'll learn about keeping spaces by using NBSP. So I'm going to be adding some NBSP here, and NBSP. Okay, so I'll add maybe like 3. So 3. Go back. Yeah, so we'll have the right space, and go back. I'll go back and basically paste this. Okay, so we have the right spaces. Okay, I want to keep also a space between, you know, the left of our site title. I can just copy this. I go maybe here, go back. Oh, sorry, doesn't it? That's it. Go back. Okay, that's perfect. So this is for just our, you know, simple header, site title, and our navigation menu. So I would go back to our txt file and see what's the next thing. We have the about. Okay, so we have the about. So I'll create a table for the about. Now we're building a standard project using CSS, HTML, and Vue.js. So using React, we'll use tables, but you know, just for the purpose of using only HTML, we're using tables like for our divs or dividers. So this is like the about section, we can say about section ends here. So I can see table, and I can see table row, I can see table data. Okay, so here I also do the same thing as a weight, 100%. Okay, so now the 100% occupy the entire screen. Okay, for it to say 50%, that'll be half of the screen. So I go back and I give it a BG color of let's say this dark blue. I copy this and I paste it. Okay, and I give it a height of maybe 400 pixels. 400 pixels. I go back. You can see, okay, we have height. So I just want to put maybe an introduction text here, like welcome to my website, welcome to my portfolio website. I'm a web developer. I can put a text. Oh, sorry, this is even supposed to be the home section, not about. Sorry, home before about. Okay, so sorry. Okay, so this is our table data, and I can use the h1. H1 is like supposed to be like the first thing on the page, line center. So I can say welcome to my portfolio website, and I can give it a color. So we'll go back and see what it looks like. Okay, so we can see. Sorry. Okay, we can give it a color of with the font tag. So I can basically, you know, copy this. Okay, so I can give it a size of, let's say, 8. I can give it a color of yellow. Now this is a different shade of yellow. So I paste it and just taking a look. Okay, so we can see welcome to my particular website. Now I want to create a little animation here with a tag called markware or mark. So I will do that. I'll just add a table, another table, so that I'll have some flexibility, and I'll give the table okay, let me just align this center. So I'll align this also center. So I come here and I give it the table rule and I give it table data. Okay, so there's a tag called macro, what do you call it? Okay, this is it. And this behavior is just to show it's an attribute in the macro. So let me just first of all say look at how the macro or macro works. I can put a text here. I can say I am a front end web developer. I can put something very friendly. I can say hi, I am John. A front end web developer. So we'll take a look at how it looks like on the screen. Okay, so this is what you know, the macro looks like. So I would give it a width of, let's say, 50%. So 50%. And we can see it's a little bit large. So now there's a direction in the macro. It's no longer really used. I think with CSS we can use animations to create something more beautiful. I can say left. Okay, it's coming out from the left, and I can say right. Okay, it's coming out from the right. Now I can it's just one-sided. I want it to be alternating left to right, so I can add an attribute value here. Behavior, I can say alternate. Okay, so I can say alternate. So next thing we want to work on is the size, or the font size, and the color. So within this I can wrap this around the font, and I can cut this and paste this. For the size, I can say size. I can say 4. And for the color, I can give it a white. So white is this is white. So you can cross check. This is the white. Okay, in hexadecimal. So I go back and I see. Can give it a better size. Maybe this is 4. I can say 5 and see. Okay, I prefer this. So this is for, you know, the home section. Okay, so if we, this is for the home section. Okay, so we're going to be going to the next section, the about section. So I go back, home section ends here. I create about section begins, about section ends. So I did something again. Instead of the div, I could use a table, so that we'll be able to have some styling. So I use width of 100%, a height of let's say 350 pixels, and a VG color of let's say yellow. Okay, so I'm using just 3 colors. for each of the backgrounds. So I give it a beige color, and I come here and I say a table row and a table data, and I give it a H1, but before then align the table to the center. So it's just going to be a very simple website, not much styling because of how limited we are with HTML. So I'll say center. So I can call this about me. Let me just put it about me and capitalize it instead. I go back, you can see. Alright, so I would just try and give it a certain features. So we can put a font around this so that we can style it. Font tag. Okay, so I can call this, I can give it the size of let's say 6. Oh sorry, since it's a heading 8. Oh, I'm supposed to have just one H1 in a page, so I'll call this H2. I'll call this H2. Okay, size of 8. Okay, that's perfect. Same size with this. I'll give all the headings 8. This heading is also 8. So I'll keep the color default, or I can just put black at default. This is black. Okay, so I would love to add a text. So I'll give it a P, and about, I created something here. So I can say Alt Z, Alt and Z, so that everything is within our screen. I come here and I paste it. I do the same thing again. Alt Z, Alt Z, sorry. So I align it to the center so that everything is joined. So it might not look so fantastic, but I want people to understand the possibilities of HTML. So this is it for the about me. So I will try to see how we can align this to the top within the vertical align using a table. So I would come to the table row and I'll say V align, vertical align. I can say top is aligning to the top. Okay, so I would like to add a button here, something like contact me. So I can say button, contact me, contact me. Okay, so I can add a BR here. Oh, sorry. Okay, let's just see what it looks like. Definitely I'll have to add a BR here. So I'll do add a BR and see. Okay, so add another BR and see. This is it's okay. So just as a simple contact me section, sorry, about me section. Okay, so now I think that's for the about me section. So we'll go to the next section we have in our txt file, that is for the services section. So we can say services render, we can say web design, coding, we can say website upgrade, or I can just say IT solutions. Okay, so I go back and create a section for services. section, end of services section. So also we create a table, and we get this table setting attributes. We can say the weight is obviously 100%. The weight is 100% with the beige color. We can give it the initial dark blue, copy. Okay. Firstly, consider line center, and that is really necessary. So I'll give it a table row and table data. Okay, so in the table data we can now add history. This was h2, so this should be h3. We can align this to the center. So we can call this my services. Okay, I'll call this my services, and let's just take a look. Okay, we've not given it a height, so we can say height. We can give it a 350 pixels. I think this also was 350 pixels. So we go back and take a look. Okay, so we can say my services, and we go back and we try to give it a greater size. So we put it in a font tag and do our thing. Okay, so we can say size, our heading to a size of 8, and I want to give this a color of yellow. To mark on the dark background, yellow. So we go back. Perfect. Okay. So there's something I want to do here. So I can add a horizontal line after the about me and make it look more beautiful. So I can do the HR here, and I can say weight over, let's say 30%. Align. Is this necessary? Okay, color. Oh, this is the same color, black. Okay, so we'll go back. Oh, it's too much. So we can say a width of 20. Oh, 10 is too much. Can width of 10. Okay, so let's say 15. Okay, this is perfect. Okay, so just a normal design. We'll do the same thing here also. Copy, and we'll do the same thing here. Okay, so that's just a normal design. So I'll change the color to, let's say, the black. Let's say 20, and we copy this also, and we'll paste this here. Okay, so we see that. I'll just add a range of services here. So table data, Okay, I'll add another row, table row, and I'll add the services here. So I can add the first service is web design, so I can say web design. Then from what we learned in the input, you can use the range and give it a value. So we don't need all this value, because since we are basically in the beginning part of our lessons, you can say web design, let's just give it a 70%, and we'll do the same thing for coding and IT solutions. So I copy this, copy, paste, copy, paste. Okay, so we can say coding, and we can call this IT solutions. Okay, so we go back. Oh, what's wrong? Oh, we didn't put our table data, so that was my mistake. So inside the table row we have a table data, so that's what we skipped. Okay, so we can see that, and this is not how I want to put it. I want it to be stacked on top of each other, so I can use the B arrow. Obviously this one that needs no B arrow. Okay, so it's not also aligned to the center, so I can do something. I can wrap this around a P and align them to the center. So I can say there are a variety of ways you can align to the center actually. So when we get to CSS, it will be much more easier. So we can see that I would like to keep more spaces here. Okay, so I would also like to increase the sizes of and the colors to match with the heading colors. So I would also like to increase, so this is where the font tag comes in. So this will be Ctrl X, paste. So I can say size, I can give it a size of maybe 6, and I can say color, obviously a color that is matching the header, the heading, sorry, or the subheading. So I do this and I go back and take a look. Okay, this is how I want it to be. So I do the same thing for the rest of the rest. So I copy this and paste this. Okay, so this was coding. Okay, I'm gonna make it look a bit. So I copy, this is IT solutions, 6, Ctrl Z, IT solutions. I go back so we can see. So we have a range of services here: web design, coding, IT solutions. So I'm just keeping it as simple as possible. This is our first project actually on HTML. So we're going to be going through the last section before we come to the end. So the last section is the contact section. Okay, so I'll create a table for the contact section. contact section begins, contact section ends. Okay, so I create a table, and the same thing is a width, it's 100%, height, we'll say 350, BG color is on default, let's just use black. Black. So obviously we come here, we have the table row, we have the table data. So the table data would be, let me align this. The table data would be the form tag. So in the form tag we have the input. Okay, so the text, so this is what we have in the input. Basic contact form, we have the full name. So the first one will be obviously text, and I'll give it a placeholder of enter your name. So I'll give it a BR input text. The second one is email, so a type of email. We don't need this. We'll get to CSS and JavaScript, we'll need it. So placeholder will say enter your email. Okay, input. The next one is phone number, so this one will say tell, placeholder, and we say enter your phone number. There, input. Or the next one we have a message text area. So this is just where you have a random message anybody can enter. It's always optional, so you can see text area calls this, you can give it a call span of column 20. So I would say BR, and I would say input. I think this should be last one, submit. Okay, so input, submit. One of the ways to create a button, I will say value, send. Okay, so we can see our whole stuff here. We need to give it align, center, and I need to give it like another VR, copy. Okay, alright, so enter your name, enter your name, email, phone number, text area, submit. So we have about 4 tags here. Oh, why is it not working? Input type, submit, value, send. Okay, so what's wrong? What's this from? Okay. Rigid color type. Okay, so we go back and check. Okay, I think it has worked. So we forgot to add our heading, so we'll just simply do that. We'll go back and we'll add our heading. Versus add it here. So this is H5 and we have a line center. So we'll say contact me. This is a portfolio website, so I'll try to give it a font tag and say contact me. So I'll give it a size and a color. I'll say size 8 and color 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's a white color. Okay, so just add a simple header width of 20%. Now it's not very ideal to build website with table or using this for SEO purposes, so I'm just using this because I decided to build a pure HTML website. So there's no CSS here, just only HTML, so that we could see the possibilities. So I've given it a width of 20%. I can give it a color of white. This is white. So all the colors are here in hexadecimal form. Okay, so I'll go back. You can see, okay, 20% is too much, so we can say 15. Okay, I'll give it a little spacing here. You can see here. Okay, so we can see. So this is just a basic portfolio website. We won't be uploading this to the server because it's just simple HTML. So when we go to CSS, we'll be able to do much more. It's more flexible and your website will look more beautiful than this. So if you're building a website professionally, it's not really advised to use only HTML. Lastly, I think that's the last thing. Yeah, so we'll just add a footer and call it the end of our first project. So I'll do something here. Footer begins here, footer ends here. So I'll add a table and obviously add the width 100%. Height, can give it 50 pixels, and color, give it obviously black. I think by default it's black, but I'll just give it a black. Table row and table data. Okay, so I can just give it a P and I can say copyright at 2024. Okay, so I'll align this to the center and I'll give it a font. So I would say color white. Cut this. Okay, So let's go back and take a look. Alright, so maybe we could change the background color of the footer to a dark blue. Now when we go to CSS, we'll be having like a UI UX design of what we want to build. Makes it easier. Oh, I was not supposed to add it here. Control Z. Okay, here. Add the background of the table. Oh, why is it not working? Okay, refresh your page and see. Wow. Okay, BG color, sorry, mistake. BG color. Okay, so it's working now. So we'll just keep a small space after here, and that's a BR. BR. Okay, so we go back. All right, so this is it, for our HTML project. Okay, so last thing I want to be doing is to add how we can navigate. We click on services, it comes to services, it scrolls to the services. So I'll be adding something I call IDs to the attributes of HTML. So for about, I'll simply copy the about, copy, and I look for the about section, and I give it an ID of this. I remove the hash. Okay, and I come to the services section. I come here, give it an ID of services, and I come to the contact section. I come here, give it an ID of contact. Okay, so this is in correspondence with our navigation here. Now I've not gotten to ID or classes, but this is just a way to scroll through our navigation. Okay, menu. So if I click on services, it comes to services. If I click on contact, it comes to contact. If I click on about, it comes to about. Click on home, obviously this is home. Width center. So let me click on ID home. Okay, so this ID has to match the anchor link hashtag here. So you might not really understand this, but when we get to CSS, we will be able to build on stuffs. Okay, so if I click on home now, get that. About, same thing. Services, same thing. And contact. Okay, so this is it for simple HTML project. We're kind of very limited on what we can do, but when we get to CSS and JavaScript, I'll be able to build something more beautiful than this. Okay, see you in the next video.